And then we have a Champions League final to look forward to. So all to play for. We hear that somebody's captain, somebody's awareness might be soon going, to the Gulf. He will tell us how he feels about it. Rabbi, it's good to have you back.
Of course,
you have been away for 2 weeks. Doing a few things for the Lord. You are back in the studio. Welcome back, first of all. And obviously, we cannot do anything without committing this into the hands of the good Lord. Commit all of us into the hands of the good Lord, and let's ask what you have brought us on your journeys.
Any information, the won't tell you what's about.
Zebaut.
Eya do won to me. Any new legbe. How won to me? You what's about? How? Joma won to me, ube to me.
One time wanted to buy Chelsea.
Now won to me. From here, I need to call Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley, your friend, your competitor in the purchase of Chelsea FC.
Chale.
Nibi eni nale.
How?
When swa nema swa nama swa.
How?
You was about one chebo no ba kwa wono. That's why wa chobo. No jio ekpo. No kwa wono.
Jemo
ekpo. You are okay drama wo Blasters ete Unity Cup. One ano na atwa. Jordan ke ko ball echi muku. Lepeji 11 players Jordan. Me na atwa. Keke otu ado twede how many?
Quarista.
Me ni ball atwa. You was about. Jemo na kan ni be ya me.
Na kind.
Na me trouble let mo Blasters ni trouble.
Na kind.
Team in trouble. Teamwork ni.
Na kind.
Otado. Benjamin Nketsia. Desmond of Benjamin Nketsia. Coach out the bar. Me coach when you coach.
Oh, Charlie.
The couple le chi le peji 11 players e park. Kwe, ko peke hi. No mo. Cup. Ne be pedigree. You was about then chele akeshi Conference League emiechi.
Zebaut ne.
Emiechi. Obanyo ke yo ma logoshi, oluguzano ke bolechi alagaba. Conference Cup emiechi. You was about women was support of Man U, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Nketsia. Yes, me. Would you accept a Conference League in the trophy cabinet of Liverpool?
My team will not be playing in the Conference League to begin with.
No, me feel.
What are you doing in that Conference League? The trophy looks like a dondo. What are you doing in the Conference League? Struggling with Noah. Absalom. Nebuchadnezzar,
they were strong disciples of
Habakkuk, struggling.
There's time for every team. Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
Elisha Kennedy. Don't do that.
You was about 4 me here. Now me not showing.
Amen.
I'm a qualified to Champions League. Bela mama ingbe na me kanya ye Conference League ni ka te Champions League. I atulani bi come. Nesa. Au Chelsea. Nye bomode. She cup nele small. Yes, uba me Conference League emiechi. Amen.
And let's start off on that note. Let's begin from the national team. Okay, Gabi, I think you can pull up the graphic now. Let's start off from that spot because the sports ministry have confirmed that they have settled arrears of some national team coaches. So if you have the graphic now, let's start off from there. You can mention the coach in question, the duration, or how long ago that money has been owed, and if they've been settled. Let's get the ball rolling.
Cash out season.
Jiska.
Shweni CC low down.
Let's set the ball rolling. Let me start off with Chris Hughton. First on the list.
Hey.
So beneath it has head coach, period owed January 1 to January 23, 2024. That's for signing fee.
Gabi, could you share this one with us?
Oh yes, it's on our page.
It's on our page actually.
George Boateng follows assistant coach March 2023 to January 2024. Same signing fee. Masoud Didi Dramani, March 2023 January 2024 signing fee. Siki Akono CK former head coach. Yeah, Benjamin Nketsia good friend. Owed as of January 1, 2024, and May still
Unpaid.
yet to be settled. Yes. Otto Addo, second clause, head coach, October 2024, March 2025. Joseph Lawman, assistant coach 1, same month, October 2024, March 2025. John Pencil, assistant coach 2, same month, October 2024. You know, they came together with Otto.
Yeah.
Abdul Fattah Dauda, goalkeepers coach, same time. Francis Bugri Tampuli, team coordinator, April 2024 to March 2025. So those are the list of coaches. The ministry say that.
So when they say salary arrears cleared, are they saying that the bonus is outstanding or?
Well, they didn't put that out.
That's a good question.
In fact, good question. And I reached out to the ministry. I can't put a person's name out there. So he said that they were going to release a statement to this to that effect.
Okay.
To do a proper breakdown so that people will get to understand. Because, you know, like I mentioned, Coach Otuado, April, May, yet to be settled.
Yeah.
So that is on the part of, that's what the ministry said to that effect after this. To confirm this as well, we reached out to 2 of the coaches in this list.
Okay.
I can't put those 2 coaches' names out there
To be fair to them.
And they confirmed that money hits account. And today is Friday.
So you
we are
can't advise
smiling.
them.
Yes.
You can't advise any of them.
But Ben, quick one on this.
Yeah.
I've been doing a few digging and trying to talk to people closer to this.
Okay.
And if you look at what the ministry put out, they said since 2020. So since 2020, and we are dealing with 11 coaches. So in there, head coaches, assistant coaches, goalkeepers, trainers, and whatever. To start my analysis on this, I'll first want to commend the minister, Kofi Adams, for doing this. I'm saying so because, look, we live in a country where we have failed to honor our sportsmen, whether it's footballers, coaches, or whatever.
Yep.
And I think everybody on this table, including Coach Christopher Nimley, we've sat on several shows. I think we've done stories about this, going back and forth with the ministry as to when the salary arrears will be cleared.
Yep.
And if you remember correctly, under Mustafa Yusuf's regime, there was a time when he went back and forth with one of the names in here about, I was paid this amount, I didn't receive this. Ben, you know the person I'm talking about? Yes.
It was CK. That one is out there. So
Good.
you can mention
So
CK.
I'm saying that
CK. It was CK. Yeah, CK.
if you look at 2020 to now, 2020 we had our minister as well, Isaac Isiama. Doff of my heart to the minister, Kofi Adams. Because if these salary arrears were not cleared, I don't think anybody would have held him responsible.
Nope.
You get the point I'm making? And he has come in to change the narrative. He separated himself from the rest. He separated himself from the rest of the coaches. The ministers who have come in. I don't know what kind of how long this took, because the minister himself, he's not in Ghana. He's with a team in the UK for the Unity Cup.
He should not be there.
You should not be there. That one there.
Good. That's another
friendly game.
That's another one.
Okay, but all the negotiation and monies involved in that tournament, he has to make.
Oh
it
yes,
public.
you have to break that
He has to
down.
make it public.
He has to make that public.
Wait now.
And I'm saying that, look, I know these things have become. It became at a point. It became what do I want to say? Very difficult for these past ministers to actually deal with.
Yep. It's something nobody actually wanted to touch.
And from that stretch, when we saw coaches, look at the Milovan Rajvac episode with the Ghana Football Association. When he had to eject himself from the hotel he was lodging at the time because he said he was not going to leave. The FA had to settle some stuff. Ministry had to come in, blah, 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 back and forth. These things are not good for us as a country. We bring in expatriates. We don't pay them. We appoint local coaches. We don't pay them. The second point I want to make is that now that this is cleared, we still owe the Black Princesses. And that has to be settled.
Yep. That's what they did. We don't prioritize them at all.
That has to be settled because that thing with owing national team coaches, players, and whatever it is, Charlie, in 2025, why are we still even having these discussions?
Let me tell you why. Let me just make a simple point to interject before you go on. So, I say there's this practice that needs to stop. So, the FA contracts coaches. They typically don't consult the ministry. Then, when they agree on their figures, then they bring the coaches to the ministry and say, "Okay,
pay this amount.
We have hired these people, so they have worked, so you have to pay them." Just like we saw a retool of the technical team.
Yes.
Brought in
Winfred Schaefer.
I don't think Kofi Adams agreed to that. I don't think the state of Ghana.
No, he even came in
agreed
before
to that.
Kofi Adams was appointed.
Hold on. Let me just.
Yeah.
I don't think they agreed to that. They hired all these video analysts. We don't agree to any of those things. And then we take them, and then the minister also says, "Okay, if you say they'll help us, then we'll pay." You see, these things, they don't help anybody because in the end, they come back to hurt you and I. That is a practice that must stop. When the FA is hiring a coach, we all know that our national teams run concurrently with the government.
Yeah.
You do not go and be an island and go and do your own thing and then come and then the money becomes an albatross around the state's neck. Do better consultation and then let everybody be on the same page. Let me let Gabby finish his point, then I can come to you.
No, I want to get to something about you said about the money.
Yeah.
What you said is very important, that the FA acts as an island. But the truth is, the sports ministry should not be paying for coaches. That's the actual problem.
Yep.
The whole setup is the problem. But I'll talk about it. You got
But in all this too, we always have conversations about this. But in all this, we do forget the NSA, who are supposed to play a role in this. Ben, they are supposed to be the one champion in it.
They are supposed to be the people collecting, like they're supposed to be the pipeline,
Yes.
literally. Like that's what he's saying.
But it's been an authority in the past where they've always been kicked aside.
Yeah, the GFA, they don't deal with the NSA. They are big boys. They go.
I don't know what
straight
differently
to the
can be done
government.
under Yao Pofankre's regime. The third thing I want to talk about is that I think the ministry has come in, the minister has come in to also talk about the National Sports Fund thing. That thing has been discussed over and over, but never implemented.
Nope.
And he's saying that is what we are going to use to pay the coaches. So that has to be established. It has to be set up. I don't know how that's
a
be
very
done.
important proclamation. If
Yes.
you did make it,
I don't know how that will be championed. I don't know how funds are going to will be put into that to settle coaches. So we don't have this headache of bringing in coaches and
then
owing them.
the states has to pay for them. Anyway.
Yes. Now when he comes back, like Coach said, I think if you watch the graphic they put out there, I don't think there's a lot of clarity in there for me. Maybe the guys on it here disagree, but if I watch that graphic carefully and Susu put out a point, I don't think there's enough clarity
on bonuses
in there, because look,
those
one of the
things.
coaches I spoke to today is not too happy with what has been dished out. So why don't we have a statement? Up until now, I stand to be corrected. Maybe when I don't know if it's out,
No, there's no statement.
but it has to be out for us to understand that this and this a proper breakdown. And that's why I told you that when I reached out to them, they said they were going to do a proper breakdown of that.
We'll wait for it.
We are waiting for it.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me take Susu's thoughts and I'll go
so
to
what I was
Coach.
saying is that the sports ministry shouldn't be paying coaches for the national team. The sports ministry should be providing support to help. Let's say we need to build a national stadium. Some talking about when you are doing youth in school, like sports in schools.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that the sports ministry is supporting. The Black Stars should be run on FA generated funds, if you are being very honest. The government doesn't need to step in to pay for everything. Like, if you are being honest, the FA is failing because the FA should be, by this time, we have a professional league.
Yep.
The FA should be able to make enough money to pay for the Black Stars and everything needed to run the Black Stars. If they say that they don't have money to pay for under 15 or something, I get it, because there's integration with the schools, getting the kids
So
out
the
of
FA
school.
has a billion sponsors. When the Black Stars play, do you see their training kits?
Exactly.
The whole training shirt is covered in sponsors. Like
Exactly.
there's no space. There's no space for anything else.
Exactly. So why are we still at the point that the problem is, you see, right now, when you keep going to the sports, and the truth is, our governments delay in paying people. This is something our governments do. We talk about it all the time. Nurses here, teachers here, contractors here. Our governments don't pay on time. So once you bring these people into the government thing, they are going to be paid like any government employee, and there's going to be delays. So once we bring the government in, the delays are going to happen, because truth be told, the only people get paid on time in this country are MPs. That's it. So if we say that we want the sports ministry to pay, which they shouldn't, in my opinion, because the sports ministry isn't a football ministry. Does the sports ministry pay salaries for every coach for every national team? Do they pay?
No.
So why do they do it for the FA?
Yeah.
Why is the FA special?
Because if you remember correctly, when we brought Nora Hutla to come and coach the Black Queens, her salary or whatever was handled by the FA.
Yeah, exactly.
They put it out.
In fact, to even extend what Susu is saying, if going by what the government does for the FA, the other federations also say that they don't do the same thing, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Athletics say that, okay,
pay our coaches.
When we hire coaches, you have to pay our coaches. When our volleyball team, our boxers say you have to give
when
our
our
coaches
athletes are in school in America, pay their fees. That's what that even makes more sense for the sports ministry to do. And the sports ministry is paying Black Stars coaches, playing bonuses, and it doesn't make sense unless you are saying something like the World Cup, maybe pre-financing. Okay, we are going to the World Cup, this is our budget, we don't have the money, but we know that we'll get this much in prize money, so we can cover it eventually and we'll pay you back. That one crowd, I agree that there's some logical sense to it, because maybe the amount of money you need is a lot and you can't generate it just like that. We get it, but for the day-to-day running, because you get money from FIFA, what are you doing with the money? You get money from FIFA.
They say they spend that money on administrative.
You have money from FIFA. You have sponsors. You have a league. All of those things, and you don't have enough money to run the national team.
The league, you quite oh,
come on.
But
But you get one.
Points very well made.
All these things. The FA is failing at their internal generating revenue targets. Clearly.
Do they have any targets?
Oh.
Let me hear from Nimli on this matter.
Shida Kofi Adams, Honorable Kofi Adams, he's done very, very well. Like Gabby rightly said, he's completely created his own set, far away from the rest. I hope it is something that he extends beyond the Black Stars. We need to go down there to the juvenile teams. Very, very important. Because in this country, we know that where the important area of football is not the apex of the game. It's the foundation of the game. And like Susu rightly said, if there are monies to be spent, we should spend it
on the development phase.
The development phase, not at the senior level. I agree with Susu when he says the FA should be proactive enough.
I'm trying to find their list
to
of
make
sponsors on the
proper
website.
money that will enable
for the
them
Black Stars.
cater for the Black Stars, then the Black Queens. The Black Stars and the Black Queens, even their kid sponsors, I think monies from that can be used to settle our coaches. I stand to be corrected on, but I remember during the days of Kwesi Nyantakyi, one of the as part of the Puma deals, the coaches were also given some percentage, and then the country would just add a bit more to sort them out. But my problem here, you are giving the taxpayers money to these coaches. They deserve it. Nobody should get me wrong. Nketsia, as we speak, the gross disrespect shown to the people of this country, on how much money Otto Addo earns, how much money John Pencil earns, how much money Fatal Dauda earns, we don't know.
Have no idea.
We have no idea. So I don't expect any of the coaches to come and tell us that the amount of money they've given is not up to what it should be. How do we fight your cause? How do we tell the ministry that, look, you've cheated this person and therefore go and give him what is due him? How do we? abumo. Abumo. Because
You are collecting my money, but you are treating the matter like
as if
like
say
a state secret.
that is it.
Meanwhile, it is my money.
Meanwhile, it is our money. I know Honorable Kofi Adams,
Yep.
although he was not consulted when Schaefer and those people were employed,
Yeah.
but he got the power. He's got the power to have told them that, look,
We cannot
can't
hide
afford
these
this, so we
people. Yep.
cannot hide this.
Yep.
We are the paying masters.
Yep. That's exactly what I was saying.
So that is no excuse. But the problem here is that we come here, Schaefer, how much is he being paid?
We have no idea.
We don't know.
Probably
The most-
50K
from
or
the
more.
most transparent
No, it
sports
was-
organization in Ghana.
Yeah.
We don't know.
The last time we heard, they said 65. Oh, those were the
The
reports.
technical
65
director is any more than the head
Yeah.
coach.
Can you imagine?
In fact, we also according to reports, I think it
Complete
was
circus.
50,000.
Complete
So,
circus.
Mr. Minister, you see, when we are giving $50,000 out to Otuado, $65,000 to a 78-year-old man. Come on.
Come on, dear. Come
Come
on.
on, man.
The
You have to be very open and transparent on these matters. No, I went to Tumu. Last week I was in Tumu. What I saw, Jesus Christ.
It was a nice song.
Look, without saying Sabita Frache, if you're in Accra, you think Accra is Ghana.
Very, very true.
You think Accra is Ghana.
Very true.
There are people in this country that need those money to go and change their life. But politicians, God will bless you. Listen to me, I'm saying God will bless, because if you can leave your people in those states, come to Accra after they voted for you, put your children in international schools, your family, your wives, your everybody live good, and you go back and you see the way people are living. In Nketsia, I visited the school of my brother, our former colleague,
Tahiru.
Fentio primary school nete no mo ameta blog no kekase oni.
Nice.
Same Benjamin, there's no chair. I saw the teachers bungle. I said, Jesus Christ, you put me in there, my soul will die before my body will enter. I'm telling you honestly. Today you are paying Schaefer $65,000. He comes once every 3 months, but every month he's collecting. Who signed those deals? Honorable Kofi Adams, who approved those deals? Who did that?
Very soon
You've paid them.
very soon we hear that hit to his money is in
Look,
arrears.
you've paid them. That is the right thing to do. Once you pay them the money, but the people of Ghana needs to know. No more. We need to know. I know how much money My Excellency John Dramani Mahama earns. So we know. I know how much money the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Right Sumano Gbagbe, I know how much he earns. Why are you keeping how much Otto Addo, how much John Pencil, how much Fatal Dawda, how much Schaefer? Why are you keeping it away from the people of
Even
Ghana?
the Speaker of Parliament and the President.
We know how much they earn. Please show us a bit respect.
This is from the most transparent association according to them.
Look at these people.
Yeah.
Oh no more. Chidan Kofi Adams, he's taking a bold step, but it's very incomplete. He needs to complete it. He needs to reveal these deals to us. Coaches, why are you ashamed? Why you don't want people to know how much money you earn?
No, they don't. You know, sometimes when
You don't know people. You don't want people to know.
sometimes when people hear, people worry you.
What is he saying?
This is how some family members remember they have school fees to pay. and
No,
nobody
it doesn't
will-
matter. But you should cut your coat according to your size.
They worry you. They worry you. As for not putting their money out in
Look,
public.
you know
I
how,
agree.
look, this one, before we change the topic, I promise the people of Tumu
Yeah.
that anytime I sit on this program, I will plead. My knees are down.
Oh.
Bring the camera people. I'm going to kneel down in this studio. And I'm kneeling down and appealing to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Look, the road we went through, part part of the road leads to Dr. Hilal Liman's village, where he comes from, the former president. That alone qualifies that road to be what? A proper road. And if you go to the road through Tumu all the way to Burkina, no, when we got to Tumu, we went to a certain village, they say, look, we are 30 minutes away from Burkina Faso. Let's contact, say, me, my waist, no more, you are going to affect my co-train ability. You can't do that. Bring the video, come and video me. I want to play to his
no, you're already being captured.
Okay,
You're already being captured, so don't worry.
No more here, don't even here, though. To His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Papa, look, Tumu is the biggest or the largest maize producing constituency in Ghana. That alone should give them a better road. The roads are bad and it is beyond measure. As for the schools and things there, the least said about it, the better. To the MPs, look, all those MPs from the northern part of Ghana, Obinyabi, everybody do a little. Stop giving the people 3 Maggie cubes and 1 iodated sword and 5 cities for them to vote for you.
Relax.
No,
Calm down.
Come on, I wept.
Calm down.
And it is so painful. Sports Panorama is the biggest sports program in Ghana, worldwide, well acknowledged. Let not this platform pass you by, honorable all the northern regional ministers, all the MPs. Obianye kakra. Look, let me applaud the MP of Sisala West, Dr. Mohammed Bataglia. Ona Bemichi. Dr. Mohammed Bataglia. He's a very good man. And from the way he spoke, the passion with which he spoke, Nketsia, we need to help the people. As for Kofi Adams, he has done a yeoman's job. But Kofi, you are in UK. You shouldn't be in UK watching friendly game. For the fact that you are there, this tournament was an invitation tournament. Monies would have exchanged hands.
Easy
Money.
If there's no money, we don't move.
Ababu Akunta. The Jemefe Commission, for which I worked for, one thing that was so clear: nobody takes the Black Stars of Ghana or any of our national teams on a money-making spree
without accountability.
Honorable Kofi Adams, don't allow Ketokreku and people to take our national team out. You see the money you are paying. So you are saying the Black Stars is lucrative enough to manage.
I'm trying to find you because the full list of sponsors.
The money that will come out from this can be some of the money can be used to pay the coaches for the next 6 months. You should stop what you are doing. Be transparent. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, so far so good. We don't want any element to move away from the level of transparency of the president. So please, Honorable Kofi Adams, when you come down to Ghana, the moment you land like this, in 2 weeks,
move in the spirit of
transparency. We should move in the spirit of transparency. Tell us how much money was involved in this campaign and how we benefited as a country and where the money will be deposited. You are talking about fund. Gabi, you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sports fund.
National Sports Fund.
These are some of the means with which we can put money into those sports funds.
Now let me just finish off.
Let
me just
add a little bit to what Coach said. And the foolish budgets we do that are more than the prize money for tournaments. It should stop.
All those nonsense will have to stop.
How can you budget for something and the money you have money to use? Even if you won the tournament, you won't reach. How can you do that? We need to stop that nonsense.
So you see, the Black Stars. I like the issue you brought about internally generated funds. Look, if you have GMPC as a primary sponsor, hold on, Goyle,
KGL,
there's MTN. Look, these are not small boys.
no.
They are not small players in the industry.
When
Like,
the Black Star qualified to the World Cup, it got to
The
a
sponsors
stage,
then
the then
Chao.
minister,
Then
Mustafa
Chao.
These are
Yusuf,
the
and
big
FA
ones I can
people,
even
they were
remember.
fighting.
Yeah.
This one said transfer the money into my account. This one said transfer the money into the ministry
Look,
account.
when
This one said-
we're going for the Qatar World Cup,
We saw this
I don't know
things.
if you remember.
we remember.
I think some few months to the Black Stars leaving, or I think they left or something like that. That period, we did the GFA launched back to back.
1 week, one launch. 1 week, one
National
launch.
Captain Mete.
1 week, one launch.
Where is
Anyway,
all those money?
we hope that we can get accountability in the next 2 weeks. Let me get to the text and WhatsApp line 0549-986-996 0549-986-996. Next we'll talk about that Europa Conference League final. Don't do that.
You mean the Conference League?
Yeah, the Conference League final. Frederick from Hohoy says, so all these monies were to be paid and the authorities failed to pay the rightful owners, and you expect them to perform well enough? How? The coaches were demoralized for too long. You expect the best out of them. It doesn't work like that. I now understand why our sports, especially the Black Stars, isn't going for it. Minister Kofi Adams duo. Salute, keep it up. Honorable Akor Ojir from Shah Hill says, I'm happy the Black Stars lost, because when well-meaning and common sense possessing people ask for disclosure of Black Stars budget, and minister and president, government after government refuse, then they will lose their matches. If they don't disclose the budget, they will not qualify for the World Cup. The guy has put a spell on them. Nito Joe from Tema Newtown says, Ghana is full of talent, but our problem has to do with proper investment. Ajingo from Tema Community 2 says, good evening, Panorama team. I am listening to a recorded version of your show now. Am I listening to a record? If it is live, then I'm surprised coach has been able to make it to the studio. Has he denounced being a Man U supporter? He should do that today. He should rather congratulate Chelsea for a successful season and stop what he's saying.
You see, when you see the Chelsea text messages, you see, if he understands the game,
They say your trophy is lightweight. Your trophy has no weight.
Look, I was asking the Chelsea supporter. Were you not there when I asked the Chelsea supporter that? He admitted to me. I asked him, did he watch any of their conference league? What did he say?
He said no.
He said no.
I'll come back to you on that. Jude Abaga from Adenta says we are live to coach and the against teams. We like our cap like that. This goes to the show. We show up every time we represent irrespective. But the way Manu are playing now, we need them to play Kotoko hard so that they can concede some cool 3 goals in coach's voice. KK from Tema says, good evening, Ben and crew. Coach is questioning Chelsea's credentials after winning the Conference League. He pointed out that Chelsea hasn't been performing well, reason they are even in the tournament. Meanwhile, he's failing to highlight United's struggles, finishing 8 places lower than Conference League qualification spots, which speaks volumes about their pedigree and lack of quality to even participate in the so-called Dondo competition
when
next
you
season.
open the United,
The cup looks
when
like
you
a Dondo.
open the United trophy,
honestly,
the asked me, would you allow Liverpool to put that cap inside?
No, I won't do it.
I spoke honorable Kojo at that men's sign. They are celebrating better trophy. Would you allow Liverpool to put that trophy in their cabinet?
I won't do that.
You might patch way in a language.
Let's talk about that, yeah. Let me start with you on that note. I mean, are you afraid that Chelsea fans will you speak, speak on it? Speak on it. Anyway, I was disappointed in Real Betis because I thought that they could have wrapped that game up in the first half. Could have easily gone 3-0 up, some way, somehow. Just only scored 1 goal. It was really shocking to me, and they didn't come out to play at all in the second half. Flat energy wise,
They look tired.
I don't know, man.
Well, the thing is, we've seen this happen before. When you play against a team that is better than you, and the chances come your way, you have good momentum.
Put them
you have
away,
to
you
put
don't.
them away. We saw that last season in the Champions League final, Dortmund and Real Madrid. We saw it.
True.
Chance after chance after chance after chance. Dortmund had it, and they blew all of them away. Real Madrid had a couple of chances that bang, bang, bang. They scored the goals, and they ended up winning the title. And so what happened on Wednesday, it didn't surprise me that Chelsea came out strongly in the second half, and they delivered the goods. Mainly because Enzo Maresca, honestly, he got away with it. Because the selections that he made to start the game, it was almost suicidal. Because you started what? Trevor Chalobah and Badiashile.
Yeah.
How many times have those two guys played together in a competitive
I was
game?
so shocked when I saw Badiashile. I hadn't seen him
You
in
see,
such a
that was off. Number 2, he picked Malo Gusto ahead of Reece James, which was another weird decision. Very awkward. And like I said, he got lucky.
Yeah. Do you think he would have done that in the Champions League? Or in the he himself acknowledged that the Cape Emiechi.
No, but that was the final
Cape
against Real
Emiechi.
Betis.
Yes, small Cape.
I know. It's an Apuskeleke Cup. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
time out.
Avec who say the cup be a punchy cup. You just have Puskele. Charlie, what you put it?
Time out.
I know
What do you mean by that?
I know it's an Apuskeleke Cup.
What do you mean by that?
You see the way
Charlie,
they
I'm
shape
not-
Apuskeleke. I know you see the way the Apuskeleke is. It's an inverted Apuskeleke.
Charlie, I've not heard that word since I was in primary school.
Bro, like you see,
How can you say
no, you
this?
see, the Apuskeleke, it goes like this.
Okay,
and
okay,
goes-
okay.
You know, like at the base,
proceed.
at the base it's very broad, but the top is very narrow. But in this case, the cap is inverted because the top is big, but the down is very narrow. So Apuskeleke,
I can't believe this.
yeah, kind of, yeah. So yeah,
Charlie,
Enzo Maresca,
it's a cup. Don't do this.
Enzo Maresca, he really got lucky. That first things first.
That starting lineup was arrogant.
Yes, first things first. Real Betis messed their chances up. Secondly, he got lucky in the sense that his decisions didn't come back to haunt him. In the sense that he got the chance in the second half to make those changes. Brought in Reece James, and Reece James even admitted to it in the post-game presser that he got hurt when the first team of the starting lineup was announced, and he wasn't in it. He said he was really hurt, and that was very dangerous, very risky from Enzo Maresca. But he got away with it because in the second half, Cole Palmer showed up, and they were able to take advantage of Real Betis's. Can I say lack of experience? No, I wouldn't say lack of experience.
It is a lack of
Prof,
experience.
legacy in
It's
front
their
of
first
Prof.
European final. It's a
Yeah,
lack of
but
experience.
at the
In fact, they've not been to a semi-final before.
Yeah, but you look at some of the players in the team,
And even their
they are
manager.
experienced.
Even their
Their manager. And so for me, I'll put it down to experience. I'll put it down to the Spanish mentality, like the football mentality. Like, we're still going to attack. We are still going to attack. Once you kept on attacking, you kept on opening spaces up for Chelsea to hit you on the counter attack in open play.
But the goals weren't anyway.
Maybe they wanted a security goal.
No.
I don't know because
Especially on a day on a night when you kept on missing chances. No, I think they should have been a little bit proactive. No, not proactive. A little bit conservative with their approach, and not still be gung ho. And that for me, it came back to haunt them.
Anyway,
and for Chelsea, it's been a good campaign for them.
Ben,
the way they ended it, looking at the fact that they ended up qualifying to the Champions League, and managing to win a proper trophy, and this being the first year of Enzo Maresca's stay at the club.
it's important for them.
Yes, very, very important, and it gives them that now more or less the project can really take off. The project can really
That's
take
giving
off.
the project legs.
Yes, because now Todd Bowley came in, he and his crew came in,
Yeah,
new owners, and
I didn't want anything.
already now they have a trophy, and so now the project can take off, and it will be very interesting to see how this time around their off season they streamline their expenditure, because in previous transfer windows it has been a bit too scattergun, and that's where they should be leaning towards, trying to streamline the team or their purchases to ensure that the team has a lot of quality now, and not quality but needing a bit more room to improve, because they are too young, they are too inexperienced in certain competitions. Those are the things that they need to avoid moving forward, and I think the team will be able to be strong contenders for the Premier League title coming.
Ben, the final on Wednesday just told me one thing about Maresca, that I think he's still got a lot to learn. Yeah, he's still got a lot to learn ahead of next season. And look, you've won the Conference League, you already qualified for the Champions League. Now you're going to play in the elite competition. Look, listen to Cole Palmer after the game. Listen to Cole Palmer, and I don't know if you watched the game carefully. That final Cole Palmer played in was one of his best performances in a long while since the turn of 2025.
Yep.
And you know
Probably
why?
his best performance this year.
You know why? He said something at the press conference. He said he was sick and tired of the sideways, backwards, and non-progressive passes.
Yep.
And it's down to Maresca. He should stop this Pep discipleship thing with 1,000 passes
Yep.
in your own half. Like at the end of the match, you've played whatever passes and you are not clinical in the final
I
third.
agree with you, because to be honest, Chelsea have been at their most dangerous this season
Yeah.
in transition.
And you see-
when they go one pass up or quick pass to the wings,
Good.
and then
And I'm saying this because I've paid careful attention to Chelsea in the league. Some of the games that I thought that if they went very direct,
Yeah.
and it's clear, like I don't know why he's struggling to see that you've got pacey wingers, you've got a striker that likes to have the ball at his feet. Look at there was one opportunity from
one-
Jackson, the one he
he
pushed the ball in
yeah,
there.
he overhit that bad
Those are the
overhit
signs.
pass, yeah.
Those are the signs. No, those are. I don't know what Maresca.
it's like you're frustrated that you can see them, but your
Yeah,
coach
like
can't see
he
them.
can't see. I've not been to the coaching whatever.
Yeah.
But you see,
I get
there
what you
are
mean.
some times when you need to move away from. Go and ask Postecoglou. Postecoglou realized that his Ange ball, the expansive whatever he was
It
doing,
won't win him a final.
It won't win him a final.
Yep.
Watch Spurs from the quarters to the final of the Europa League. He said he moved away from his style of play. He was pragmatic. Those are some of the times that Maresca would like. Those are some of the moments he would have to do or take up.
Yeah, I
You've
get
got
you.
talent, and then you are playing plenty passes.
And then he likes to
Charlie,
put players
the
in
obsession is-
strange positions.
Like leave Pep to do his thing.
His strange positions. Is it Otuado?
Oh,
We saw the starting
Leave
lineup.
Pep
he
to
put
do
out
his thing.
against
So, look,
Nigeria, right?
me,
Razak Simpson on the right side of a 3-man midfield.
Yes,
So-
I thought that, and just to finish up, I thought that now when he went with Gusto and who did he even young? I think it was Gusto. He brought in Reece James. What did that mean? It backfired. The plan he started with backfired. Plan A. Reece James came onto the pitch. Reece said when he was coming, he told the coach that, coach, Beshin, relax. And when he went on, I don't know if you saw, he called the players, and it was down to experience. That's why they won the game.
Sure.
I mean, if you look at Chelsea's starting 11 and you want to compare it to that of Betis, I think in terms of quality, there's a huge whatever.
Chelsea is way ahead.
Look at the midfield. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Cole Palmer. Combine these players plus Isco and whatever. Charlie. Next season will be a.
Let me give the last word on Chelsea to you. I don't know if you want to have a word on that.
Oh, a little bit.
Just quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was the bare minimum for their season. Champions League win, Conference League. We said it that per the money they spent, per what we are expecting, per the season they are meant to have.
This is your minimum expectation.
I didn't think they would make it.
The opponents they played in the
I didn't think they would make it. I thought that their last
Noah and Lygia was.
I thought that their last few games were too difficult, but they managed 6 out of 7, which was unimaginable to me.
Yeah.
So congratulations
I
to them
think
for
they
that.
lost just one game.
Yeah,
There was
Newcastle,
one game
just Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
No, there was one other game in the Conference League. They lost at
They
home.
lost- they
I think they
lost-
beat the opponent by.
Liga was or you
Yes, they
one
beat
of
them at their home by 4 goals or something.
and
came
they
to
lost
lose
at
there.
home. Exactly. So the Conference League they worked it very easy. Like that's what we expected. So I mean, and look, I disagree with coach that they shouldn't celebrate. I understand what coach is saying that a club of Chelsea's magnitude should not have been there in the first place. I get it.
That phrase is so funny to me.
I get it.
But you see, is this not how the Europa League started?
Echi.
No, but
No, but
I'm
you
saying, is
see-
this not
but
how we
even
had a
this- but you
conversation
see-
about
no,
the
no,
Europa
no,
League not being whatever?
Even that is a bit different because at the time when they started European competition, they had the Champions League first.
And
Before
the Cup Winners' Cup.
Before they brought the Cup Winners' Cup, and then they brought the UEFA Cup. But back then, only the champion
Only the
qualified for the
Champions
Champions
League,
League. So second, third, fourth were all in the UEFA Cup. So there was some gravity. It was later when they started bringing fifth and sixth into the.
And the teams weren't as many.
That's when people lost respect for the UEFA Cup / Europa League. That's why they had to say the winner goes to the Champions League. It's because the Champions League has become big. So, but me, I'm a simple man. Celebrate all your wins, big or small. Whether coach says it's lightweight or not, celebrate. Enjoy. It's your time to enjoy. So don't worry. Next week, we start working again. Club World Cup is coming.
Sit down, where are you going? Now listen, you see, I understand the Chelsea faithful. Every trophy is a trophy. I understand them.
But the point I'm making is that I won't accept this trophy in Manchester United cabinet. In Nketsia, we all know the history of the Conference League. Teams had to go begging UEFA, team from Azerbaijan and Armenia and those. They won't get a chance to play in any European competition.
Georgia.
Which is why the Conference League was created.
That is it.
Democratize European football.
But Charlie Chelsea travel pound and go Kazakhstan and say
Don't go and see.
So the point I'm making is that
Next season, do you know the Azores in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? Santa Clara.
should Man United play 7, and they shouldn't even play 7. They should rather get relegated than to play in the conference. I'm telling you.
Hold on. It is his opinion. Please
get relegated. Go and come. You mean back to the Premier through the playoff game?
You mean you would rather go to the Championship than
and
play the Conference League?
The one that Sunderland and these people play.
Sheffield.
That gives me more money and more recognition than the Conference League. What are you talking about? These are the things they don't want to hear, but I'll tell them. I'm giving you the history of the Conference League today. People went to beg. They went to beg.
You are disrespecting Jose Mourinho.
I'm not.
You are.
But Mourinho himself said that Roma hadn't won things in years, so it's good they have to go there.
Yeah.
But Chelsea just recently, you were winning Champions League.
Yeah, you're a big boy in
football. You're a big boy in football.
Yeah.
You jubilate, okay, Warsaw, okay, Peter, okay, John. But these were stout disciples of God.
But if they are lost to you, you'd have trusted them for losing.
No, I told a certain Chelsea. You remember the day I came and say, look at UEFA recognition. If you win, you don't even play Super Cup. They are trying to get a 4th competition so that they will play.
But I want to put it on record that you have said here that United, you are better off getting relegated to play in the Championship.
I'm telling you honestly,
than to play in the Conference League.
The day United qualify for this Conference League, I will move straight to England and go and meet Jim Ratcliffe and go and tell them play. What is Conference League? Play the Conference League. It's a waste. Look at Chelsea themselves. Look at the way they approach the tournament. There are 2 teams.
Yeah, that's true.
They should go and do the 2 teams in the Champions League. They'll be playing next season. Let's see.
I mean,
these are hardcore facts and truth that you don't want to hear.
They didn't even register Copa.
They didn't register Copa. So you did acknowledge that Kapenetwa Emiechi. Whether you like it or not, Emiechi. Manuel Pellegrini was a bit disappointing. Look, I agree with whatever y'all said. In that first half, it should have been game over. The moment it was not game over, you rather expected them to sit back and play on the counter.
Yeah.
Rather seesaw, to and fro, go I come. What sort of football was that? In the final, just a week earlier, somebody had taught you how to do it.
Yeah.
Ange, he's taught. Are you more chaotic than that man?
Nope.
Pellegrini, especially when your chances, you weren't converting them. You could tell that it wasn't your night.
Way, you were not converting. So make 4-1. Make yourself very difficult. Look, the last time I saw this score in the major final was the World Cup in Russia, isn't it? When France beat Czech. Is it
Croatia
4-1, 4-2. And in recent time, that has been the one-sided World Cup final. So isn't it?
Yeah.
One-sided World Cup final. So the point I'm making is that we all knew that player for player, Chelsea had the better team.
Yep.
All they needed to do was to show up. Once they show up and their players get on the ball, they win it. So I was a bit shocked when Mr. What's the name of the Chelsea coach? He decided to be this. I don't know what that
overthinking.
I don't know. This is not
Pep Guardiola things. Overthinking.
What are they talking?
I'm sure because he had qualified for the Champions League, he was sort of saying, after all, what I was brought to do, I have achieved. Let me show faith in the guys that has gotten me to this point, up to this point. That was his thing.
Yeah, that's true, because he stuck with the team that
started the whole tournament most often. At least he brought back
even the Williams, the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper. Yeah. He didn't go for his first choice goalkeeper. He stuck to the one who is being the goalkeeper throughout the tournament. That is what most coaches would do. But I think in that last 30 minutes, that was where Chelsea showed their class. When Palmer got on the ball and he tweaked the system a bit, gave Palmer a bit of a free roll.
Yeah.
I agree with Cole Palmer when he said that the passing, this Chelsea team is not a passing team.
It's laborious.
They are not a passing team. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Co. These are transitional players. Players who want, because they are not too technically good, when they get the ball, they want to pass it away quick.
That is very hard for me.
Pass it quick.
It's hard for me to stomach when you spend over 200 million on a midfield that can't really be assured in possession.
Unfortunately, those are the players they've gone for.
That's
Those are the players they've gone for. So whenever Kopama, who is a bit calm, look at the goal that Nicola Jackson scored.
Yeah.
Look at Kopama. When he received the ball, he stamped on the ball, pretended as if he was not interested in whatever he was
and
going
then
to
did
do
a
next.
10.
And the defender, when he stood, he also just stood. Bele, it much bele. After fan about the ball, oh, quality mo bele. You understand? And so when Palmer just stood on the ball and decided as if he was not going to move, the guy didn't just turn him. He reminded me of the World Cup when Leo Messi turned the Man City defender. That bad is okay. The ball is touch la. Okay, my problem not all me. So look, Manuel Pellegrini, with all his experience, not taking anything away from him, he's a top manager.
Yeah.
But on the day,
Yeah.
I think he did not react. And like Susu said, all of a sudden they looked very tired. They were not running back. They were not closing down the Chelsea players like they started in the first half. And that was very, very shocking to me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Chelsea won. You want to add that to your cabinet because you know you are a smaller team.
They say they are.
Yeah, they know.
They say they are the first team to win all the European
Look
titles.
at that.
Yes,
He's
But
forcefully
but that's because
associating yourself with mediocrity.
that's because the other teams have never had to play in the
They
conference.
won't not.
Unless you want to be-
They don't want to play.
There are
in those
Chelsea
tournaments.
fans. There are Chelsea
want to be
fans.
that poor.
There are other Chelsea fans who want to also argue that their midfield is not a ball possession. Boss, your midfielders can't pass. Don't do this
don't do
argument.
this argument.
Enzo
But 200
Fernandez.
million midfield and they can't pass. I'm scared.
That's the fact. The truth
No,
is
the
that
profiling of the players. That's what
Enzo Fernandez.
No. When you guys say they
Caicedo.
can't pass, I think it's a bit too harsh.
No,
So,
we are situating it in
they
context.
can't control the tempo of a game.
Yes,
That's what we are saying. No,
you need to pass the ball.
I mean, we are not obviously saying that you can't pass
See,
basically.
If you have a 200 million midfield, there shouldn't be any weakness in the
There
midfield.
should
I
not.
agree.
There should not.
But this is a very weak midfield.
There should not. Anyway,
Weak though, better than what I have at Manchester United
Yeah.
though. But the fact of
That's
the
what
matter
the
is,
Chelsea fans want to hear.
no, you see, I am not a hypocrite. What is me? These are things that I will easily admit. I will take Caicedo, but when I bring Caicedo, I will bring him somebody who can help him control the game.
yeah, that's true.
Not play very chaotic.
But that's what Enzo is
So the
supposed
fact
to
of
do.
the matter is that they've won the cup, the conference. Go and add it to your trophy cabinet and say you've won every year. Then people, how do you qualify for the Champions League? How do you qualify for the Europa League? How do you qualify to the Conference League? Then, oh, okay, but
Congratulations to Chelsea.
But I want to say something.
Yeah.
come for me.
Chelsea weren't meant to play in the Conference League. If you remember, they were going to play in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And they were hoping that Man City will beat Manchester United.
And then Manchester
in the
United
FA
went
Cup.
to win the FA
You
Cup.
remember, and
And
I sat and I told them that no ni Chelsea ke ba ye ball no ayo le gamie mo ko ba ye inyema yo ye bi we will not allow that to happen. They say coach I say Manchester City will beat us for you to go and play in the Europa League. It will not happen.
in the end, it's like Manchester United did them a favor because I'm not sure they would have won the Europa League.
Oh, no.
That one, there would have been a lot. They wouldn't have been able to rest the players the way they're resting, do their two teams and that kind. I'm not sure about that. It would have been a lot more difficult. So maybe Manchester United did them a favor. They should say thank you.
Lot of Chelsea people crying out there about their team and whatnot. Charlie, your midfield is not good. Stop this. Anyway, I'm telling you the truth.
But United they played today. Oh.
You know, Charlie,
They played Hong Kong.
They lost.
Hong Kong.
They lost.
They lost the first one.
They lost against some team whose name I can't
Southeast
remember.
Asian All Stars. That's the team they lost.
As for that,
Collect
as
some
for that
50
team,
million
let's
pounds.
let's
You don't get money.
let's
You
talk
don't play.
about let's talk about the Champions League.
I'm a 20 me balabala team.
We have a Champions League final tomorrow happening between
Oh, the Unity
Inter Milan.
Cup. You won't talk about
Oh no, the Unity Cup. They should go to the back burner. There is a friendly tournament.
Look, we need how much was involved.
that is it.
Come and bring it in. And Jordan Ayew should be spoken to. No matter how ball kind.
Yeah.
When they give you the ball, you don't want to pass any player. Even Messi don't play football like that.
I'm not even
Who plays
discussing
football like that?
Jordan.
Oh, captains ban. Oh, don't call me. Mini.
Maybe it's because there are a lot of people he didn't know around.
No, but they were passing him the ball.
Yeah, because
They were so he should pass the ball.
Look at the
And
chance
the
he
most
missed from
amazing
far.
part, anytime he does that,
they
clap his hand. Mini coach when you coach all.
Anyway, let me talk about the Champions League final. That's a big game. Because there's no English team involved, the English portals, everybody else has been kind of low key about it. But it's a really good game. Should be very good quality across board. Let me start to you, Mr. Graham, on that score. What kind of game are we expecting tomorrow? Inter Milan have had an extremely disappointing season. In fact,
Somebody have Nicodemusly. We are watching when the former vice president was, and you see how Mustafa you see Nicodemus. He'll be the next person.
this is so funny. Anyway, Inter Milan are on the verge of having a disastrous campaign if they don't win the Champions League.
Yeah, Charlie.
Lost the Serie A.
Disastrous is far.
Lost the Serie A. Didn't win the Italian Cup. Coming to lose. If they don't win the Champions League, this will be.
They lost the Super Cup final as well.
So that's disaster.
Disastrous is unfortunate is a better word. I wouldn't call it disastrous. Disastrous.
Can they?
The Qatar people to want to come and
Al Hilal say they like Simone Inzaghi.
Talk to me about the final. I mean,
what do you want to talk about?
Mentality going into this experience from the last final they played in, and if
about
they can,
Inter Milan specifically.
Inter Milan, and if they can navigate this relentless PSG team, because PSG will run as long as this game exists.
Yes. The thing is, Inter Milan are a very adaptable team. If they have to sit back, defend. We saw them against Barca, try and be compact, make the game difficult. They'll do it. If they need to be protagonists, because we see them in Serie A week in, week out. They are not they are protagonists. They put their foot on the ball. They pass through teams and do their thing. The interesting thing is these are two teams which are stylistically quite different. Because Inter Milan don't dribble. They don't have any dribblers in their team. They move the ball forward with passing. And then you look at PSG, you have Kvaratskhelia, Desiree Doué, Dembele, Barcola. Even the midfielders can dribble. So it's a very different way of moving the ball forward. What I believe Inter Milan's big advantage is their physicality, their height, their set pieces. We saw it against Barcelona.
Yep.
This is a PSG team that has only two big guys in their team. Donnarumma is huge. But even Donnarumma, for a guy his size, sometimes for claiming crosses,
He's not good at that.
he's not
He's not the most
he's not as
authoritative
good
guy in the
as
box.
he should be. Then you have basically Marquinhos and what's his name, William
William
Pacho.
Pacho.
I'm just saying
No,
these
but
are
he's
the
Those are their big guys,
Yeah, that's what I'm
relatively.
just saying.
Pacho
These
is
are
like
their-
6'4" actually.
I'm just saying these are their two big guys. The rest of their team, look at them. Look at João Neves,
Maybe you add a
Vitinha,
Spanish midfielder.
Reese is a bit,
Maybe
but
yeah.
he's not a aerially
Not dominant
dominant
player.
because look at Denzel Dumfries,
Yeah.
Pavard,
Yeah.
Acerbi, Bastoni.
Yeah, those are all imposing
Even
players.
Thuram is strong in the air.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I believe that the physicality is a big factor. And if PSG don't defend their set pieces well, Inter will punish them. And the truth is, you can't say you are going to pass Inter off the park like that. It's Barca try, but look at Inter. They had their moments. They can get the ball forward. They can move it. They can get things going. They are not a bad team at all. There's this. People have this idea that because they are Italian, they are defensive and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they play very expansive attacking football. When they are in full flow, you see Chanalolu drop back, and then the centre backs are bombing forward into the final third.
Yep.
You see Bastoni in the number 10 slot. So they like to play very expansive football. So it will be a very interesting match. But I believe that they have a few more finalists because the last PSG team that went to the final, how many of them are still there? If
Marquinhos. It's just Marquinhos.
it's just who was the keeper the last time? Was it Donnarumma?
No, I think
It wasn't Donnarumma.
No, it was.
It was
Real Madrid goalkeeper.
Kele
Navas.
Navas, yeah. Kele Navas.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. A lot of the guys who were there are not there anymore. But this Inter team, Lautaro is there, Barella, Bastoni. Pavard might have even played in the Champions League final for Bayern.
Yeah.
So this is a team with a lot more experience.
Yep.
So that is one of the things that I feel might decide. I don't know, because
I think even Damian was part of that team they played against.
for sure. So a
and
lot of these guys were in the last team. So I just look at this team and I feel like there's a lot going for them. But the technical ability of PSG is a bit higher. Inter a technical team, don't get me wrong, but PSG are a bit higher. So I feel like they have to make that physical edge count. They have to stretch their play. And I believe Denzel Dumfries will have another big game because teams are not used to dealing with wing backs.
Yeah.
And the way Pierre interplay, he's the only person with pace to get in behind. So they try and, build up on the left and then just boom the ball across and hope you isolate. So Nuno Mendes will have to be on his A game. So it'll be a very interesting game. And
Nuno Mendes has been on his A game.
Yeah, I mean, Shaklin,
but-
Salah, dealing with Bukayo Saka.
In my opinion, if you gave me money to buy a left full back, he's my first choice to buy.
the one thing,
there's
like I
that.
said, that experience, I'm
Yeah.
wondering about PSG and whether stage fright to get them. Inter will tell themselves, we've been here before. We had a very good game the last time. We didn't take our chances. This game, we have to. There's that kind of air of unfinished business. With this PSG team, you look at them and you think to yourself, okay, if it's not this year, it could be next year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. I don't know whether they have that unfinished business air because this is their first final. So for me, I feel in terms of if you look at the on paper,
Yep.
just player by player, PSG are favorites. But when you think about the mental, like remember when we spoke about the final mentality that Manchester United have, which we thought would show up in the final. I believe Inter Milan have that. And after losing a final,
Yep.
losing a semi-final, it's almost like you can't lose another final this season.
That's
It's almost-
that's exactly
there's a
how
lot-
I'm looking at them.
And looking at the age of some of their players, an older team, there's a lot of this is our last chance.
Yeah. Acerbi is number one on that
Yeah,
list.
so,
Acerbi was.
so I
playing
just
when
feel,
was
I just
way
feel
back
like
in the
Inter will want it a tiny bit more than PSG for sure.
I think Inter will win it because of one, the issue that Susu highlighted with the set pieces. You look at what Arsenal did. They created a lot of trouble for PSG with Thomas Partey consistently throwing the ball long into the box.
Remember that thing is just fun.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward, but it worked.
No, they had seen-
because
they
they
had
had
seen-
given
no,
it,
they
it
had-
gave
they had
PSG
seen-
a lot of
They had seen
issues.
Semenyo do it in the weekend. Ateta called Partey and said, Nana.
Yeah, see your Ghana man.
Only I know last week, Bibi Mame. This week.
Oh yeah,
the same thing for
and
me.
I love that about Arteta, that he got beat with such a strategy earlier in the lead up to the game, and he incorporated it into his game plan, knowing very well that PSG generally struggle to deal with balls into their box. And so for me, I was cool with it, and Inter will definitely utilize that in their locker in order to be able to get past PSG. And there's also this bit of their adaptability and the quality that they have in defense, because PSG do not have an out-and-out striker, recognized striker. Normally, on a normal basis,
Go with Dembele.
they go with Dembele or they bring in Goncalo Ramos. On a normal basis, when you play against teams and you use more or less a false nine, and their defense is not really adaptable in terms of managing space, in terms of reading the game, you tend to exploit that situation, especially when they are very slow at the back, and Inter defenders are very slow, but they are very good in spotting the spaces, utilizing the spaces, sniffing chances before they even pop up, and that's where there's an advantage for Inter Milan over PSG. And so when I combine those factors and I look at the experience, the fact that they've been here before and all that, I think Inter Milan will end up beating PSG because of these reasons. The fact that they have very intelligent defenders who can read the game and avoid getting sucked into areas where the false nine, the fluid attack would expose them. So for me, I think Inter for the win.
Let me take a quick break here. When I come back, I'll let Coach and Gabi have their say. Coach especially for a tactical approach on how he expects both teams to approach this game. And then we'll probably take it home with some transfer news on Jeremy Frimpong to Liverpool. Let's acknowledge our sponsors. We'll be right back after this.
Strong, creative, enthusiastic. My name is Jojo and I got the Blue Jeans vibe. On Fridays, after a long, stressful week, my colleagues and I just pop a chilled, tasty can of Blue Jeans energy drink and we are ready to take the whole town by storm. During Saturday morning soccer with the boys or Sunday or Mutual special with the family, Blue Jeans does the trick again.
My name is Arapa and I got that Blue Jeans vibe. During a long day of shopping and catching up with the girls, Blue Jeans keeps us refreshed and happy. When studying for an exam, Blue Jeans is the companion throughout the long nights.
It's great for sportsmen and women and people with an active lifestyle. It's just amazing for For purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 or 0550 010 000. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to your health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. The advert is FDA approved.
So you need a vehicle tracking system to manage your fleet. But how do you choose the right company for real results? Most tracking companies just sell you a system and leave you on your own. But at Instroma GPS, we go beyond that. With expert consultation, real-time tracker monitoring, emergency support, and constant updates, we make sure you maximize savings and efficiency. Join hundreds of businesses that trust Instroma GPS for world-class fleet management. Call 024-676-7662 now for a free demo. Instroma GPS. Your choice, your savings.
City 97.3. Accra.
Welcome back. Sports Panorama. Benjamin Nketsia here. Coach, let me talk to you real quick on that particular.
They laugh the man like that. He could demonstrate this.
No, the way you were trying to sneak it, be the way they blocked the
door when they enter with one.
Oh, Mustafa Yusuf. Anyway, coach, tactically, you've seen Enrique's team, you've seen Simone's team. What are you expecting?
One thing that is certain, that is going to be a final of fine margins. For Inter Milan, having suffered the way they did against Barcelona and find themselves in the final, it will be so difficult for them to overcome if they don't win this. I think if they don't win this, the people will come and take their coach away from them. Already they've told the whole world that he's the one they want to bring to their league.
Simone.
Yes, they're Saudi people.
Oh yeah. If I were him, I lose this. I'm just going for the money.
The only thing they can do to keep him around is to win it. Now the question is, how can they do that? Tactically, they will not change. They'll go a back three, and like the way they do with their wing backs, and then those guys in the middle, Çalhanoğlu and those Henry Mkhitaryan, and then they'll go to top with their two tried and tested, trusted, two very potent strikers. One is a proper focal point. The other one so smart, playing off the focal point, and he will punish you when the chance presents itself. That is the way they will play. They'll hold on. They will not dilly-dally because they know PSG will
want to possess the ball.
Yeah. But in the game of football, the team in possession of the ball is very vulnerable defensively. So what Inter will normally do when they win the ball, you count their pass. It will be 1, 2. The third pass
typically just will
go straight to Thuram.
Yep.
And you see Lautaro playing off him. And Thuram sensibly will have to go to the weakest of the two centre back in terms of area ability, which is Marquinhos. And I think if he stands in front of Marquinhos, he dominates him all day. And one thing so technically brilliant about Thuram is the fact that when he's linking up play, he's got the ability to head the ball into the direction of Lautaro, where he puts it on his chest. He's capable, he's got the strength, the power to block off the defender, and then locate the run of Barella. Barella is very quick to run off the two the two forward guys there, and that makes it. The moment they are doing those things, then Dumfries, like Sosu said, is already on the move.
Yeah. And he's already pumped for the Champions League.
He's pumped.
He's had a really good tournament.
That he's been one of the best players,
in this
most effective and efficient players in the Champions League.
True.
So that is Inter Milan. On the part of Luis Enrique, typical, he needs to blend total control of that ball with a bit of physicality.
Yeah.
I think one thing that he needs to actually demands of his players is to accept the body contact of the Italians, and if possible, dish it out to them equally, in equal measure, and then allow their technical ability to come to the fore. The likes of Kvaratskhelia and Dembele and those two diminutive Portuguese midfielders in the middle,
João Neves
and Vitinha.
Charlie,
What you
boys.
cannot allow them to do is to be very comfortable on the ball.
Vitinha has had a crazy
I
tournament.
hope Lotario is fit. Because it is when he is fit, he will tend to rush one of them and get Mkhitaryan and Co to get a bit closer. But when he's not fit, like we saw in that semi-final game against Barcelona, and he's allowed Frankie de Jong, he allowed Neves, like the way he allowed Frankie de Jong to turn and then play the ball out of defense, then they are going to be in big trouble. PSG will have to exploit quick passing. You see, under Pep and under Luis Enrique, when they were both coaching Barcelona, there was something they do very well, and I've seen those things being done by this PSG team. When they are dominating possession in your half, watch them, and you sit very deep. They tend to pass the ball very quick. Give one.
Yep.
It's about one touch football.
You will be dizzy.
You be ratata. Then they are imposing themselves.
Yeah.
But the Italians tactically will always have that defensive line cover because of the back three, back five.
Yeah.
When you decide to attack them from the flanks, you need to have a player of the quality of Lamine Yamal to dance past DiMarco or Dumfries and go and dance past those two hard, rugged guys in the back three to create any chance. The two goalkeepers have had wonderful tournaments together.
True.
I believe that it will come down to one of them making 2 or 3 world-class saves to get his team to win the cup tomorrow.
You are from all that you've said, you are saying that this game is like a 1-0, 2-1 type of game.
It cannot be exploded. It's a final.
I don't think two teams have scored in the Champions League final for 5-6 years.
No.
Wow.
It's like 1-0, 2-0, 1-0.
That's very crazy.
You check.
check.
That's
Chelsea
actually
beat Man
very
City
crazy.
1-0. I mean, it was last season when Real beat Dortmund Tuesday. It's been 1-0.
And then Real Madrid beat Liverpool 1-0. Real Madrid beat Liverpool 1-0.
Yeah.
The one where Valverde crossed for Vinicius. Was that
Okay,
the
so-
one?
Yes.
So we have 2024 Dortmund Real Madrid, I believe.
Yeah.
That was 2-0.
Yeah.
And then we had Man City Inter 1-0, Liverpool Real Madrid 1-0, Man City Chelsea 1-0 Chelsea, PSG Bayern 1-0 Bayern.
There you go.
And then you had Spurs Liverpool. I think that
2-0.
they're 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last time the two teams scored was 2017-2018.
Exactly.
I think that was Real Madrid Atletico, I believe.
Exactly. And so that will tell you that.
Wow. That's very
Is it normally, if an Italian team is in the final, one thing that is so fundamental about them, they tend to stay in the game for as long as they can. And because of that, they make themselves very difficult to beat. I think tomorrow,
Yeah.
for PSG to win, they need to score first. If they score first and they are able to repel that instant, because Inter Milan, what most people don't notice is that when they concede, they tend to do a quick comeback.
Yeah.
If they don't get it, then they themselves now becomes vulnerable. Because quickly then they become very cautious that look, the next goal is very important. If we were to concede, we make life extremely difficult for ourselves. On the face of the two teams, what I have witnessed, I think that my pick to win the Champions League was obviously Barcelona. You don't kick out Barcelona in this form
And not win it.
and not win it. But there's history behind PSG. Anytime the tournament has gone to Germany, it's favored a team that has never won it before. My people at Chelsea are the recent testimony to that. When they went there, they hadn't won it before.
Yep.
And they beat the home team, Bayern Munich, on their own stadium to win it. We saw it when Dortmund won it for the first time. And it's been like that. So PSG will be thinking, come on, this is a historical ground for first-time winners. Can that be in our favor? But hey, they will have to work and work tirelessly. If the need arises, Inter will abandon any form of decent football and go straight route one.
Yep.
And when they start doing that, like Sosu and Ya have said, their area ability, the fact that they are dominant in the air on set pieces, will get them to bully the people. And that is where Donnarumma will have to do something that he has never been noted for. Coming out of his line to dominate his area, pick up those balls in the air and calm the nerves of every PSG player. Look, Nketsia, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be beautiful. It is going to be, for we the neutrals, we will just sit and enjoy.
True.
I think Ghana, how many people support PSG, how many people support Inter? Most of our people here may have one or two reasons why.
I had Inter
so
Milan
like this, I know.
since when De Lima played for
I actually don't mind Inter
when
Milan.
Ronaldo De Lima
You are
played for
not a
Inter,
true AC Milan fan.
I had a little Inter Milan bias.
The truth is, for me, that thing that I don't want my rivals to win. I'd rather we won. You get like.
I understand.
I get what you mean.
But on the face of it, I mean, you may look at the two teams in Ghana, they will just go there and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Simone Inzaghi. Actually,
I'm
a big fan.
I'm a big fan.
Maybe
Enrique has one. Luis Enrique has one. Simone Inzaghi should
Coach,
get
maybe
one.
people have got like
soft
sports or like a long history with because Montari.
There's that too.
Yeah, and Ben, just a quick one.
And I'm a big Balotelli fan as well.
Balotelli, someone proud. And just a quick one. Coach highlighted the goalkeepers, and this popped up in my mind. You look, because of Inter's size, it's going to be very difficult for PSG to play the ball long. And if you don't play the ball long, that means you have to go with short passes, playing out from the back and all. And when you look at Donnarumma's feet,
he's not good at that.
He's not good with the ball.
That's an issue.
That's a bit of an issue. And you look at the tremendous pressure that Lautaro Martinez and Marcos Thuram apply,
and even
from the front foot.
What's the left-footed guy?
Di
Marco. The pressure those guys apply when they are pressing is very intense.
If they are fit, they worry, Charlie.
It's very intense, and that's where it's very likely a mistake from the goalkeeper will come from Donnarumma, and
I've thought about it.
And the goal is likely to come from there.
I know why I want Inter to win. Donnarumma, I don't want Donnarumma to succeed.
I've
thought about.
Let's do predictions.
Let me just ask a rhetorical question before the prediction.
Yeah.
If Inter wins the cup, who wins Ballon d'Or?
Who wins Ballon d'Or?
It's the I feel I want to say is I feel the Club World Cup.
Who are the contenders?
Rafinha, Mohamed Salah.
I feel like people are underrating the role the Club World Cup could play in the Ballon d'Or.
Oh, really?
No, it will. The teams are taking it very seriously.
Mole teams.
No, coach. The teams are taking it very seriously.
This first tournament cannot determine.
I get what coach is saying. That
no, but
it's a first time.
It's the first time.
But teams are going to take it because there's a lot of top European teams, and they are going to take it serious.
You tell me that if Mbappe goes and remedy, he comes and win the Ballon d'Or.
But it's not like they are going to play just there.
No, that tournament cannot.
Bayern are there. Who else is
do
there?
Bayern have a contender for?
But I'm just saying the teams are. There's not like it's just Chelsea's there.
Liverpool,
they all don't have player who can win.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No. I think Salah is completely done. He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or.
But all I'm saying is that
Liverpool
are not in the Club World Cup.
It will be in the back of the mind.
Chelsea, but the point is Juventus are there. It's not like it's just anybody.
They don't have any better player.
I'm not saying that it will just be the Club World
only
Cup
player who may go in there if they were to win it.
Mbappe.
The people want to claim or see whether they can boost his is Mbappe. But now he's gone trophyless. You cannot use this trophy to go and win it.
No.
The question I'm asking is if Inter wins the Ballon, who wins the Ballon d'Or?
No, coach. I think the Club World Cup.
I think if PSG wins, Dembele wins it.
Yeah.
I think if PSG were to win,
Dembele,
it's a treble. It's a treble, and
if he wins, if they win tomorrow, he wins it. But if they don't win and Inter wins, I think Rafinha wins.
It throws it up in the air.
I
disagree. I feel like the Club World Cup will actually have an impact. Coach, it's not just them.
I don't know.
You see, the fact that they are willing to pay 10 million for Trent to come and play in the Club World Cup shows you they are taking it seriously.
They don't have the right back. But you have to pay the money.
No, but they would have, if they weren't taking it seriously, they would have just gone. And Mbappe has won the European Golden Boot. Don't forget that he's won the European Golden Boot.
Let's talk about predictions before we go.
I'd want to go with Inter. I want to see the old days when it's with Inzaghi.
Inter Milan for me.
I think 1-0 PSG. Yeah.
You say you don't want Donnarumma to win.
No, but a prediction and what I want are two different things.
I get that.
There's what I want and what I think will happen.
I get it. I think for PSG to win it, they have to score first.
He's using his head.
And if they score, if they score first, they win it. But if Inter again, look,
This game actually will be down to moment.
it's a down.
Let me talk
Now, I'll
about.
just tell you my dream
down
scenario.
to moments.
They'll cross the ball and Donnarumma will drop the ball and Lautaro
And
will
somebody
tap
will
it
tap
in.
it in.
He's done it to me before in a
You guys
in a Milan derby,
just
so
talk
he
to
should do
me.
it again.
Just talk to me briefly about Jeremy Frimpong to Liverpool. 29 million
Solid.
is done. He's a wing back replacing a full back. I don't know how you
but
think.
just quick one before.
Plays as a wing back.
Apparently, so according to the reports, I was just reading real quick when the story dropped. Apparently, Slot doesn't see him as replacement for Trent
Okay.
because he's looking at two things. You know, next year, Salah will depart to the AFCON in Morocco in December. And this is a player who's come to Liverpool, gives you a lot of options when it comes to the tactical flexibility. I mean, you and I know
I
that-
view him as a winger though.
Good. You and I know that Jeremy Frimpong in the back four is disaster.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
disaster. At
is.
Leverkusen,
He can't defend. That
yes,
is the
at
bottom line.
Leverkusen when Xabi Alonso was doing his stuff, it was always a back three operating
Yeah.
as a right wing.
Right wing back. That's what I'm saying. That's why
Yes,
I see the comparisons
Good.
or the replacements. This
So
thing as
now the
strange.
question I'm asking myself is that I don't see Slot playing a back three next season.
I see him playing a back.
As a back three next season.
Yeah, I see
Well,
him playing a back.
Because they want to buy Milos Kerkez as
Okay,
well.
so
Kerkez
let's
can play
see
as a
the
left
kind of
wing
players
back.
you bring in. But I don't. Slot doesn't see him as replacement for Trent.
Because if there is a replacement for Trent, everything we've been saying about Trent, he can't defend.
Exactly.
It's like why
Yeah.
we
We've
been
got
saying
him,
that
yeah.
we've gone from bad to worse.
Yep.
That's how I was seeing
Yep.
it. So
And even with the
so
player-
what, so what Gabi saying is something
And
that
even
makes
with the
sense.
player, if you take a look at his numbers and the way he operates, he's somebody
he's
who
an
like
attacker.
Like Charlie, the
He's
guy.
literally an attacker.
Yes, he wants to be
In
the
their
final third and
championship
doing
season,
things.
he did double figures in goals.
Yeah.
and
I
assists.
saw a stat that said 60% of his touches come in the final
Yes.
third. That's not a defender.
Yes.
Wow.
But see, the problem here is that as a wing back, he tend to receive the ball a bit more in the final attacking
Yeah.
third. But will this Liverpool manager go a back three?
That's
That
what-
is something.
that's the question
For
I'm
me,
asking. He would.
this is he will have to if he's going to use him. So again, what is Amorim doing different? Is the fact that-
is that what you're advising?
Oh, let me talk. Let me talk.
How did you sneak this
Let me
in?
talk.
Nobody saw that coming.
I have said that if you give Amorim his system players,
Oh, Goji.
his system players, Nemo, I would dance Apiki in the shortest possible time.
Just tell me about how you feel about Frimpong to Liverpool in general.
Look, he's a fantastic player. He's a player I thought if Man United had qualified for the Champions
Yes.
League, they would have gone for.
Yes.
Because he was actually on the radar and he's the sort of player
Actually
the coach-
fits the system
Yes,
more.
exactly. They would have gone
Once
for.
the
But of
Champions
course,
League didn't come.
Once the Champions League didn't come out, it means he will not come. But he's a fantastic attacking wing back. And one thing that I like so much about him is that when he gets in that final attacking third,
He's very decisive.
his assist numbers
Yeah.
are equally very, very good.
Impressive, true.
And he scores decent goals as
No,
well.
he knows how to
He
finish.
knows how to finish. I saw
like I'm
him
saying,
finish with his left foot,
Look.
right foot, absolutely brilliant.
Every time I've looked at him, I've never ever gotten the view that this guy's a defender.
No,
like never ever.
He's a good player.
Never.
I
Ever.
think should Liverpool get the boy to from Bournemouth, it
Okay,
allows Annie Slot
Okay, guys.
to vary that system into a 3-back and a wing back.
That's the reason why I
And
believe
he's
that
bringing
he
in
brought
vets
him.
too as well. So
I think that boy is overpriced. Man.
Florian is coming home.
The money
Yeah,
is
130 million is.
I think he's overpriced.
yeah, 130 is too much.
Because
No,
there are
no.
issues with physicality.
There's
He's
that.
a good player, but there are serious issue with physicality.
Physicality.
And I don't remember the last time a typical German came to the EPL and
The
bossed.
last time any player in the mood of Verts came in was Kai Havertz, I believe.
In the mood
of Florian Wirtz, I think it was Kevin De Bruyne.
no,
and
I'm
boss
talking
did-
about
I
a
mean,
German.
more similar in profile, yes, but I'm talking about that attacking
nationality.
midfield, Leverkusen nationality, that kind of pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for me, he's a direct replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. But I think Man City, because of the price, they moved away from him. And
Liverpool to come buy player 130.
Yeah, I think-
like I said, Liverpool. Remember, Liverpool were good to spend our money on Caicedo, and it didn't happen. And they didn't spend any money
Yes,
in
so
this
they-
window.
and
So
they
I
won
think
the league.
good.
The cash is resting.
There's cash.
But I think Man
There
City,
is cash.
but Man
Please,
City should go in for Tijani.
to borrow
Reinders.
his own words,
But
there's
do they
cash.
need him?
They
Tijani
need
Reinders,
him.
No,
They
I mean
need
the
him.
boy.
Florian Wirtz.
They need him. Look, they need him because
He's versatile.
one, versatility, and two, you need to freshen up the squad in the sense that look at the latter end of
But
the
the team
season.
is a young team already.
I think Liverpool is thinking that if we had more options, we had fresher players,
They
would have
would
been
have
able to
done
make
better in the
a
Champions
a deeper run in
Exactly.
the Champions.
I think Man City should go in for Reinders.
They should.
They missed out on.
They submitted the first bid.
They
first bid.
are very close to
There is
agreeing
similar
a fee from what I've heard.
Yes.
Does it seem like a big fee?
No, for what?
about
50,
70
60 million
No, it's about 70
That's a
million.
lot of money.
pounds or
euros.
euros?
70 million.
Yeah, so
euros.
that's like 60,
That's 60
million pounds.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Oh, for Reinders, oh, it's fine.
He doesn't. He doesn't have a big reputation. He's a good player for those of us who watch football, but he doesn't have a big reputation.
But do you need reputation? That's the thing that Man U has
I-
been
I-
doing.
I- I- I
and
don't know.
My trans-
No,
my
I
reputation dictates a transfer fee.
exactly. I think transfer, like players' reputations attract.
See, that's the mistake a lot of the EPL teams do. Man City typically don't do that. Look at their transfers that they've been happening over the years.
That's true.
They've
That's
got
true.
Man United went in for Harry Maguire because of profile, reputation. What
He
happened?
had no reputation.
Pep Guardiola.
He had England.
oh,
At the
let's-
time they
oh,
were-
I mean, reputation.
At least in England, not globally, but at least.
No, but what is reputation? Maguire, what were playing for Leicester?
At the time he came in,
He was very like.
What has he done?
No,
What has he done?
if you say reputation, we can talk about his popularity
You
at
can
the
talk
time.
about
He was not
reputation.
popular.
That's not
He was not England best defender at the
He was
time.
only rated.
He was
only rated in England. That one is
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
What
saying.
sort of reputation is that?
National
He was
reputation.
rated in
Total
England.
reputation.
He was rated in England, and he was
He
the
was.
second best defender at the time behind John Stones.
That time, Charlie, he used to
Yes.
carry the ball.
Yes.
Maguire
Listen,
carry the ball.
He was the best.
Oh, listen,
He was
listen,
second
listen.
best.
He was.
John
You see,
Stones.
if you are going to buy a player based on reputation,
Yeah.
he should be the best defender in the league, not the best English defender.
Fair.
What are you talking about?
But I'm saying that he had a
What sort
national
of
reputation.
By who? What had they achieved?
If the
Leicester
reputation.
See, reputation.
bad.
I'll give you an
Aye.
example. In terms of reputation, high profiling and all. Jamal Musiala and
When United
Garnacho,
bought
for instance,
Rufus
who has
now.
more higher profile in terms of reputation?
Musiala.
Jamal.
No, I'm talking about
Jamal Musiala and Garnacho.
I'm talking about Garnacho and Jamal Musiala.
Musiala, of course.
Yes, Garnacho.
Based on
popularity.
No,
Garnacho need reputation.
Let me finish making my point.
Make your point.
I said Man United, that's what they've been going after. He has a reputation, profile. It's about what the player can do.
Garnacho, that's what
But I'm saying that that's where the media hype comes in. Some players do not get the needed media hype that their play deserves. Jamal Musiala, mention the top 5 players. He wouldn't easily come off the top of your head.
I get what you mean.
But look at the young players in this generation. He is the best player.
But
nobody
is ever comparing.
Oh no, I'm talking about in terms of quote unquote reputation, the hype and all that.
Reputation go. Yeah, if you want the young players with reputation, tell the world football. Lamine Yamal, Musiala. I mean, your reputation.
And then Lamine Maguire.
Even this young chap at Juventus, the Juventus boy, the Turkish boy at
Kenan
Juventus.
Yildiz.
How many times does he pop up? But he's way talented and better than
But what has he produced this season? Look at Juventus.
He's no better than
It's okay, so it's over.
Oh, shout out.
So proudly brought to us by Twisco, by MasterCard, Kivo 4-in-1, Gary Mix, Royal Kingdom Estate. Let's do a few shouts before we go.
Oh yeah, shouts to Charles Owusu-Kumi. Yeah, this week he has done a fantastic job from Yoko to NIB, covering everything. Yeah, Charles Owusu-Kumi this week there.
AKA Mason Mount.
You forgot about the demolition exercise.
Suffering Manchester United.
And demolition too. He was there. Look, today, this week, yeah, Charles Owusu-Kumi. Yeah, big ups to you, big man. And
they show him for the
on form like Rashford.
Oh yeah. And a big shout to Nana Oseo Owusu, Farm Ghana Limited, big boss. I salute you.
Nice. Any more shouts?
Yeah, Ben. Shout outs to your own man, GOC boss.
Oh,
Richard Akpokavi.
Oh,
Yeah,
boss, Charlie,
too.
boss, we greet you. Congratulations on your win as GOC, boss, and we hope that
you. They one side. They listen Panorama logo.
Oh, Charlie, he be hard guy. He be.
And then let me shout.
The proper people.
Let me shout. I think this is what I would want to be doing going forward. So, I would want to be highlighting some of our sports personalities, what they do. Yeah. So the Black Rockets.
Okay.
That's Ghana's boxing, the amateur team.
Yeah.
You know, they were all the way in Guinea Conakry for the African Youth Boxing Championships, and they clinched 3 gold medals.
That's what we like to hear.
They presented it to the GOC boss over the week, and I think that was
those medal winners. I hope their coaches, their salaries will be paid by the sports ministry. That's what I
saw
want.
that coming. Yeah, so shout outs to them, and then shout outs to my
the usual.
Young one, the 2 big boys, Dominic Gucci and
Daniel
Payday.
Paydizi.
Yeah. Let me say a big shout out to Chris Esilfi, Mr. Chris Esilfi, former chef de mission. He is into swimming these days. He works with the swim league these days. We're doing a lot of things, you know, in the athletics and Olympics space. So Chris Esilfi, collect your 2 wherever you are.
I want to give a shout out to all the Chelsea fans, especially Mr. Noble Nketsia. He called me today. He had to. He said,
Chelsea fans are Charlie. Today they are really in their feeling. Charlie, celebrate your conference league.
So shout out to Mr. Nketsia, great musician. Shout out to all the Chelsea.
Shout out to the Chelsea midfield.
And happy belated birthday to Fred Jabano. Yeah,
they know that's my big boss.
My shout out
big boss
goes to the best Chelsea fan ever. You see, for me, the Chelsea people, they are my friends, and my boss, Dominic, of Asempa.
Nice one.
The producer of the Ecosystem program. He's the best Chelsea supporter ever. Boss, Boji number 1, Anyebo, unbelievable. My job,
nice one.
No fear harm me. I really do appreciate it. Dominic, because of you, I will consider supporting Chelsea.
I think, coach, you have to make a promise to the Chelsea. If they win a big trophy, then you have to wear a Chelsea shirt on their show.
No, that will never happen.
I think you have to do that.
Thank you very much, Coach Mimi. Thank you, Susu Graham. Thank you to Yahweh J. Minta, and also to Gabi Affair. Thanks to all of you guys who tuned in on YouTube, and to those of you who listened via radio, those of you who sent us messages. We appreciate all of you. I am Benjamin Nketsia. Same time next week, Sports Panorama will be back on the airwaves.